all these years, participants have asked, have reflected like some do not dare to say anything like most of you, if I don't say anything, you all will just. But the reason why we don't tell them to shh, is in your day-to-day life, is it easy to find an absolutely quiet place? Not easy, isn't it? So when we try to meditate, sometimes we do have to try to get a quiet place, so that we can get started. But if we can only meditate in quiet places, then in our normal places like our home or workplace, then we can never meditate, because we are not used to meditating with a bit of sound here and there. And remember, it's sound. It is noise only if you don't want it. Scientifically, all these are just sound, isn't it? But in terms of English, we have sound, music, and noise. Music to thy ears. When you like it, it's music. When you don't like it, it's noise. Very subjective. So remember, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, when I went to Myanmar for my 3-month retreat, I was full of anticipation. I said, wow, finally I can find a place that is quiet. Because the place that I was ordained in is super quiet. So quiet, you don't hear any sound except the snow falling from the roof. It's really quiet. So when I went to Myanmar, I was having the same kind of expectation, hoping and looking forward to a quiet place. But in the end, it wasn't anything but it was nothing close to quiet. There were insects, there were birds call, there was this gecko, tok tong, super loud, you know. And then at night there were dogs howling, and there was a period of time the neighbors. Can you imagine if you stay next to a meditation center, you would probably like, okay, 9 o'clock, better don't turn on your TV anymore, But the neighbors near to the meditation center, they were playing loud music. And I'm not talking about Beethoven Symphony 6 or what, Not Canon by Canon D or something, It's some trash music. I'm sorry, but to me it's trash music. 10 plus. So over the next few days, I reported to the Sayadaw. Let me know when y'all cannot take it anymore. I reported to the Sayadaw, and then the Sayadaw, after listening to my feedback, I told him about this noise, that noise, and then he said, so did you take note of it? I said, Take note of? Take note of what? Take note of the sound. Were you affected? Did it disturb you? So I was one of the few Mahayana monks there, so Sulang Mai Sutin cannot lose, 10 years ago, stupid lah. So I told him, not so bad. So did you label it? When you hear the sound, did you label it? Hearing? Not quite. So he told me, you must label the sound. The moment you hear any sound, label it. Hearing. You see something, whatever you see, seeing. It is move your hand, moving, extending, touching, lifting. I mean, during retreat lah. So I tried that for a few days. So each time when there's a sound, hearing. Sound, hearing. And then the strangest thing happened. Yeah, after a few days, somehow the music stopped. So I don't know whether they purposely play music to... But somehow after a few days, the music stopped. Yeah. Maybe the seller also went to talk to the neighbors, say, hey, hello. But even when the music stopped, the insects didn't stop. The birds were still there. Yeah. But it doesn't distract me anymore. Yeah. In fact, it becomes a reminder. Yeah. When you hear some sound, it becomes a reminder of the Dharma, of the teaching. Yeah. So, whether something is a distraction or is it a reminder for the Dharma, it's up to us. Yeah, it's up to us. Okay, so we have 45 minutes. Now let's go through our favorite routine. Let's see, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth row. Yes. Tell us your name and how you got to know about this group. Yes, you. Mila. Yeah. They don't know you, ma. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Eric.
Yes.
I think I've been following very much for 9 years, I think. 2008 or something.
Probably 9 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
Yeah.
So I've been away from the British community for a couple of years, and I think it's time for me to, as my friend says, come down from the mountains.
Yeah. Come down from mountain to another mountain. Yeah. So Eric, with some, the past few weeks, occasionally I will say, oh, not seen you for a long time. Yeah, some participants. So he is one of those. When we had a group cultivation for the youth, back when Ching Wei and Sel was in what we call youth ministry in Kuomingsan. Yeah, when the group cultivation was an underground movement. Yeah, that was many years back. Yeah. How have you been?
I'm good. I think it's a very good 3 years of quiet and solitude.
Yeah, I see your Facebook posts occasionally. I think just the other day you wrote something, right? Was it you? Did you write something recently?
About...
what was it about? Was it about school or something? Or some encounter?
Oh, I mean, maybe 1 or 2 days ago, about my encounter with an irritated hawker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working late, so I went for dinner, and I was telling the hawker, like dried kway teow please. Then I think he was a little bit irritated back. I mean, it was raining, there was a lot of noise and stuff. He was like, his response to me was, "What do you want?" Kind of thing. So I was like, and I thought, he must have a bad moment prior to that. So I said, can I have a bowl of dried kway teow please? So he went to cook, and when the food was ready, he pressed the bell very hard and said, "You order already?" Kind of thing. Then I went to him and said, thank you, thanks. So I gave him a smile, and I think something changed back then. So the next response was better. The next response was, I think he felt a little bit guilty for me, so nasty towards me. So he was like, if possible, do you want some chili? So I said, I'm good. So I think, when I was reflecting on it, this verse 5 of the Dhammapada came to me. like hatred can only be seized by non-hatred.
Yeah.
So it was something that I thought I could share with my friends on Facebook. So to remind them that at the end of the day, if we react negatively to others' negativity, we are the one who feels the negative first.
Yeah.
If we react with peace, we are the one who feels the peace first.
Yeah.
So ultimately it's up to us.
Good. So good to see you back. I think you have seen Sui Zhu there. Sui Zhu is quite a different. Oh, you didn't see him. So probably cannot recognize him with all the kids. Now he's father with 2 kids. I think you know over the years. Then there's Huang Ke. Yeah. So okay. Well, hope to see you come back. Not come back, but come every week. This is every week. So you can get the season parking for a whole year. Yeah. Welcome. Let me see. Season parking. Okay. On my right side, first row. You have introduced before, right? Yes. So the season parking, season. Have you introduced before? Yeah, introduced before. The rest, let me see. Anybody who is new here? Have you introduced before? Never, right? Come, tell us your name and how you got to know about this group.
Hi, Rudy and Liza. I got to know this group through my friend here, Alexis. Yeah. So she introduced me to come for the talk for today,
I see.
which I thought was very interesting.
Good. Welcome. And let me see, who else? Okay, I think the rest have all introduced before. All right, so welcome to SGC. We have the short puja, short meditation, and not so short Dhamma sharing. Yeah. So I'm going to share today. So every week we have some Dhamma sharing, and once a month, the start of the month, we would have the sharing on the Bodhisattva teachings. And we are currently on a certain series where we have some teachings from the sutta. So today, maybe I could. Is this better? Oh, too small. Too big or too small? Yeah, I hope you can see this. Let me see. So this is from the Anguttara Nikaya. So the AN here, the AN is short for Anguttara Nikaya. So Anguttara Nikaya is basically the numerical discourses. Yeah? In the Pali Canon, there's the Sutta Pitaka, the Vinaya Pitaka, and then the Abhidhamma Pitaka. And in the Sutta Pitaka refers to the collection of all the different discourses. And so as they were doing the recording and memorizing, they grouped them according to different categories. Yeah, so one of the categorization was by the length. So you have long discourses, you have middle length discourses, yeah, Digha and Majjhima. Then you have those that is grouped by topics, Samyutta Nikaya, or what we call connected discourses. And then this is numerical discourses, where they are grouped by numbers. Also known as the gradual discourses, because it is incremental discourses, because it's book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to book 11. Yeah. So this is in book 4, Sutta 79, and this is about trade. Yeah. It's called Vanija Sutta, trade. So in this sutta, we have Venerable Sariputra. So let me just read to you. Then Venerable Sariputta went to the Blessed One, and on arrival, having bowed down to him, sat to one side. So this is quite a common opening. In some places, in some suttas, we have the location specified. Over here, there's no mention of location. Sometimes they'll say, at Vasali, at, let's say, Rajagahir. Then you say, the Buddha was there with who and so on. In this case, it just goes straight. Venerable Sariputra is one of the chief disciples known for wisdom. So, as he was sitting there, he said to the Blessed One, what is the reason, Lord? What is the cause? Why a certain trait, when engaged in by some people, turns out to be a failure? What is the reason? What is the cause? Why the same sort of trait, and when engaged in by other people, turns out not as intended? What is the reason? What is the cause? Why the same sort of trait, when engaged in by other people, turns out as intended? What is the reason? What is the cause? Why the same sort of trait, when engaged in by other people, turns out better than intended? So this is 4 different scenarios that Venerable Sariputra asked. The first 2 and the second 2. 来了 huh? Hello. The same pattern coming out. 等一下 auntie 给你铁砂掌才知道。开玩笑，你不要看这个 auntie 戴帽子，好像。So this is a sutta which I thought is very interesting. Because usually when we think about Buddhism, we think about either cultivation, compassion, so save all sentient beings, and in this case, it's not asked by a lay person. It's actually asked by Venerable Sariputra, and it's about trade. It's about work in a way. So you may have encountered people who don't seem to have success in their work, or maybe they are okay with work, but when they start a business, then it just go, really bad, And then the same business they sell away, and someone take over. Wow, it just goes very well. Recently, some organization sold off some business, and then somebody else take over, and it become very successful. Do you know what business that is? Never mind, I'll tell you secretly later, okay? That business is quite sensitive. If I say it out, then later people will say that, this monk is very political. Okay, so let's see what the Buddha said. The Buddha didn't say, well, I shouldn't show you everything. But I see you all have been reading. Don't read so fast, So, sometimes students, when they come to see me, then they feel embarrassed to ask me about their personal life. They feel embarrassed to ask me about work, because they feel like all these are worldly affairs. Sifu, we don't want to corrupt your life, your pure innocent life. Your life is so holy. Maybe they even think that even the dust don't settle on my body. But if you think about it, the Buddha, people ask him very worldly questions. The Buddha don't say, Sariputra, how dare you ask me this kind of question? You know how worldly this is? No, the Buddha didn't say this. The Buddha actually explained. There is the case, Sariputra, where a certain person, having gone to a Brahman or contemplative, makes him an offer. So, the first case is this. Someone go to a religious person. Brahman refers to someone who is a clergy, a priest. In ancient India, even now, they worship Brahma. So those who worship Brahma, those who are the priests, are called Brahman or Brahmin. So contemplative here, in this case, the translation is referring to an ascetic, a monk. Yeah. So if a person were to go to a religious person who is a cultivator and makes him an offer, tell me, sir, what you need in terms of the 4 requisites. Yeah, the original doesn't have 4. The translated, the Venerable Thanisaro Bhikkhu put in bracket 4. Why? Because requisites here. What are requisites? Requisites are things that we are allowed or we can receive to sustain ourselves. Yeah? In this case, there's the known 4 requisites. Yeah? Here, in Buddhism, the 4 requisites are 衣食住药. So, clothing, food, lodging, and medicine. Yeah, these 4. And these 4 are also known as the minimum sustenance a person needs. Yeah, external sustenance. Yeah. Beyond this, everything else is actually extra. Yeah. If you have it, it's good. If you don't have it, yeah, you still survive. Yeah, like holiday, for example, going for a tour, for example. But of course, for a lay person, you all don't have to live in the minimum. But it's your choice. Yeah. So here, in terms of the requisites, then what is the problem? But I make it bigger for you all to see. But he doesn't give what he offered. Yeah, that means you go there and promise head and tail, heaven and sky, promise, but in the end doesn't give what he offered. Yeah, that means you make an empty promise. Okay, make an empty promise. If he passes away from there and comes here, then whatever trade he engages in turns out a failure. Yeah, so you promise to offer something, but after that you don't fulfill that promise, and before you actually fulfill it, you pass away. Yeah. If let's say you don't misinterpret and think that, oh, I promise I must immediately do it. If you promise to do it in 1 week's time, you have 1 week to fulfill it. Yeah. If you promise to do it, to offer this, offer that, but later on you knowingly just lip service, give you this, give you that, then later, what happened? After dying, if you come back as a human being and then you try out this kind of work, that kind of business, Buddha says it turns out a failure. Think about it, huh? Second case. Then there's the case where a certain person, having gone to a Brahman or contemplative, same thing, makes an offer. Tell me, sir, what you need in terms of the 4 requisites. But he gives something other than what he intended by the offer. Promise, let's say, promise what? Promise prata. Then didn't give prata, give dosai. Promise chabihun, become chami. Promise laksa, became char kway teow or something. Okay, then what happened? If he passes away from there and comes here, then whatever trade he engages in, it turns out not as intended. Still there's something that come up, but not exactly as you want it to be. You intend to open up a business, like that. Then in the end, you still have a business, but not like that. It's like that. Okay, boleh. Yeah. So this is the failure case. Okay, failure case. The next 2 cases is where it happens. Yeah. So you can more or less guess how it goes. Then there's a case where a certain person, having gone to a Brahman or contemplative, makes him an offer. Tell me, sir, what you need in terms of the 4 requisites. He gives him what he intended by the offer. He said, shall I offer you prata? Yes. Sure. Okay, then the next day come prata. Shall I offer you chabihun? Next day come chabihun. Yeah. Later, I must tell you all something funny. So he gives what he intended by the offer. If he passes away from there and comes here, then whatever trade he engages in, it turns out as intended. So you plan to do business, you plan to do this, it comes out as it is. This is quite okay, expected. Then there is the case where a certain person, having gone to a Brahman or contemplative, makes him an offer, tell me, sir, what you need in terms of the 4 requisites. He gives more than he intended by the offer. Wow. He say, Sifu, I get you 1 egg, 2 kosong. Okay. Then when he arrived, 2 egg, 4 kosong, dosai, sabihun, laksa, all the works. If he passes away from there and comes here, then whatever trade he engages in, it turns out better than intended. Wow. So the secret is here. So tomorrow onwards, I have a lot of prata and dosai. This is the reason, Sariputra. This is the case why a certain trade, when engaged in, cannot say it. When engaged in by some people, turns out a failure. Why the same sort of trade and engaged in by other people turns out not as intended. Why the same sort of trade when engaged in by other people turns out as intended. Why the same sort of trade when engaged in by other people turns out better than intended. Yeah. So 4 different scenarios. Now, you will notice that over here, the Buddha is basically talking about religious people, Brahman cultivators. Yeah? So, when my late ordination teacher, he related something similar to this. He didn't narrow it down to just when you are offering to cultivators or religious people. He say, even when you are extending help to other people, just normal friends or whoever, if you promise something and maybe you say you want to help someone do something, or you give something, but you give unwillingly, or when you want to give, you make the person beg you to before you agree. Then after you agree, you delay. After you delay, when the person come, you let them wait. Then so my teacher said, when you are going to your merit is going to ripen, will you get it? You get it. But somehow you have to keep on waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah. So if you look at all this, one thing to note, it's not that if you don't give what you offered, then the monk curse you. It's not. Don't be mistaken, okay? I know some of you, so petty, Then better don't offer. Don't say anything, just give. Later if you say, then... Now the consequences is due to the person's action. Yeah? It's not the Shifu or the whoever, or you promise prata, I give you dosai, then what's similar? Then Shifu secretly in the mind, may whatever trade you partake in not turn out as a failure. I will have the last laugh. No, it's not that we do this, okay? It's that when you are doing something, you don't put in your effort. That's why the result come out in that way. Yeah. Yes. 冤亲债主
Maybe we put something in this life.
Haven't returned. So you ask yourself, do you owe any Sifu any prata or sabihun?
I don't make promises.
Better be.
Something like that.
This is not directly to do with 冤亲债主.
Maybe this life we put something.
So, okay, thank you for asking that. That in Buddhism, there's this notion of if you owe someone something, in future you must pay back. This is not about that. It is not that, in the next life when you start a business, then the monk will come and then, sabo you.
This is the same life.
No, this is in future life. But it's not that the monk come back together with you, then see you, then you open a small shop, then the monk go and open a big shop and then compete with you. Next, last life you do this. 你做初一，我做15。No. Okay? But thank you for highlighting this. Because especially Chinese Buddhism, we have this very deeply entrenched the kind of 以牙还牙 kind of mindset. Yeah, that karma is almost like, you harm me, I harm you back. Yeah. But in fact, the Buddha's teaching is always about helping us to break away from that cycle, to not think in this way. So this teaching that is explained by the Buddha himself is precisely not about that. It is about actually how you act. It results in your effort in that way. Yeah. If I can share a little bit about this process. We could also look at it that if you are a person in your past life who make empty promises or who don't honor your words, then this tendency is very likely to continue in that life and then in the future life also. And that kind of tendency will result in you failing in whatever trade you do. I mean, think about it. Let's ignore the past life first. If you look around, those who are successful in their business, in their work, more likely than not, they are someone who persevere to fulfill what they promise. They don't overpromise. And when they promise, they will deliver it. 做水水行了. Right? Yeah. Whether among colleagues or business partners, you value someone who is like that, isn't it? So there is when we think about karma, we tend to think of it as some mysterious force that somehow, you put in all your best effort and somehow it still go pachak. Yeah, but no, it's actually not. I have many, while I joke about, not joke, while some students, they hesitate to ask me about their work, their life, and so on and so forth. There are those who come to consult me on their work and life and so on. And let me tell you, in many of the cases where individuals are facing problem at work, having problems at work, usually, as they share, there's almost an unspoken expectation that for me to say some consoling words. Almost an unspoken expectation. So the session usually goes a bit differently. Because I will write down exactly what they say, then I will and after the person is more or less done, I will assess the whole picture and I'll ask them some questions, fact-finding. The first thing I usually do is some fact-finding. And after some fact-finding, some of them feel a bit uncomfortable because I will ask difficult questions. Yeah, and they will try to Then in the end, at the end of the day, after all the details are out, then it turned out that they didn't put in their best effort. In many cases, they didn't do their due diligence. Or sometimes, how many of you have heard of people who say like, 小朋友，现在在讲课的时候，不是我的。他没有，对，他也在这边讲课。他说我没有麦克。So let me tell you, have you heard of individuals who would say that, they are not appreciated by their boss? They do so much. Then got some people sell car lah, what, always claim credit lah, what. then they will always very self-righteously say, I don't claim credit one, I just do the job, silently do it. Then why are you telling me all this? You really want to silently do it, silently until you die, don't tell anybody, don't complain. I mean, if you want to complain, then you are not silently doing it. And since you want to complain, why don't you just claim the credit? You don't claim, if you don't want to claim, then you have no right to complain that people don't give you credit. So do you know the number one recommendation I give people is, or question I ask people is, so did you CC your boss? No lah, Sifu. No need to CC one lah. Boss should know ma. What should know? You think your boss very free every time looking at you with what you're doing? Half the time, many of these people, when they complain about the lack of recognition, the lack of opportunities for career growth and so on, it's because they somehow have this crazy self-righteous idea that, as long as they do their work, then they expect people to, automatically know and automatically must. I mean, come on, seriously. What's the point of having email, Yeah. On the other hand, I tell them, if I'm your boss, I will feel that you're not keeping people in the loop. You're not having proper communication. When you do a certain task, you must send an email to keep people informed of the progress, so you manage people's expectation. Yeah. So sometimes people, when they come to me for career counseling or whatever, they get quite a different response than what they expect. Yeah. Sometimes they expect or they hope to get some console from me, 哎呀，工作不容易哦，哎呀，现在很辛苦。People expect Monk to say that, right? They don't expect Monk to say, did you keep your boss in the loop? Look, our boss Yeah. So there are two parts. One is the consequences of karma. Yeah, but the past karma is one thing. The present life karma is also very important. Yeah. Don't rely on some past karma and don't blame some past karma also. Don't rely on your past karma for fortune or wealth or good progress in your life. And don't blame past karma if it doesn't work out. Yeah. If any of you have any doubts about that, let me give you an exercise that will prove beyond a shred of doubt that your present life karma supersedes your past karma. Who want to try? Who would like to try that? Anybody? Let me tell you first, okay? Actually, it's more fun if I don't tell you first. Who would like to try? Are you all convinced that present life karma supersedes past life karma? Who has doubts? Who has doubts? Nobody dare to try. Yeah, you don't know lah. But many people, they don't know also, but they have this mindset. Everything is it past karma? Huh? You don't know then.
My 师兄 tell me one day.
Your 师兄?
My 冤亲债主 come and look for me.
Yeah, keep on eating peanut, then tell me 冤亲债主. Keep eating groundnut or what? No, it's not 冤亲债主. There's a term for it. It's called gout. It's called uric acid. Yeah. 冤亲债主. 你嘴啊，冤亲债主。我看不了，听不了。I mean, is there such a teaching? Yes. But the Buddha don't go around everything 冤亲债主. Buddha, I'm having a bit of headache. 冤亲债主. I stomach 冤亲债主. Doesn't make sense, The Buddha himself had headache, no. So don't tell me it's 冤亲债主. And in the Buddha's time, there were times where there were famine, and even the Buddha had to go hungry. And everybody was like thin and like that. The Buddha don't say 冤亲债主. No. Not all 冤亲债主. Some. but mostly not 冤亲债主. Okay? Now,
I think we should believe that there is a reason for something that's happening.
yeah, it's called gout. Gout. 尿酸.
不是说那个是说
Oh.
I always feel that something happens.
So you see, you always feel that it's because
there
of...
must be a reason that
Yeah.
certain thing happens.
Yes. And many times it's because of what we are doing in this life, not past life. Many of the things that's happening to us in this life, I would say it is a combination of the propensity from past life plus the way we act in this life. The way we act in this life. If you think that most things are influenced strongly or majorly by past life karma, with that kind of mindset, then you should conclude that if you have good relation with someone, it's due to past karma. And if it's majorly, mainly due to past karma, then your present life cannot really affect. Which is how most people feel, isn't it? When most people have difficulty communicating or relating to people and they have some conflict, then what do they say? "Aiya, gai bo yan." You know? I have no link with him from past life. That's why I see my boss and my boss always pick on me. Sometimes, maybe it's true. But if we start off with the mindset, it is always because of past life, then there's a term for it also. It's called fatalism. Fatalistic view to life. That everything is predestined. Because past life is already done. Then if you have this mindset, that means everything is fixed. You're meant to come here today for SGC. And then you're meant to laugh. Some of you didn't laugh? Not meant to be. Then life is very scary, And it's not that it's wrong because it's scary, but it's scary because it's wrong. If any of you still have any doubt, then look for your closest kaki. Whether it's your family or friends or colleagues. Think of your favorite friend, family member or colleague now. Think. Have you all found someone? Better not be shifu because of what I'm going to ask you to do. Can think of someone? Yeah. Think of someone who is your favorite, either friend, family or colleague. Ken? Who is it? Your friend. So, best friend. So according to your theory, there must be a reason. Must be past life, very good karma, you help her or him. Why you don't think now? Just now you just said. Hey, hello. 老二，叫他们静一下他 already cried, not me. Oh, okay, different. That one is cinema 4. Sorry. Just now you said that. Wait, let me repeat what you said just now. Just now you said that. Gina, hold the groin. Remember? Hold the groin. 哇，你靠过去超。好了。哇，你看他的那个小朋友，哇，他去哄他。哎呦，哇，你看。还写着。哇，多有爱心。哎呦，可以哦。OK， 没事了。哇，你看，哇，他还拿玩具给他。Oops. First rejection in his life. Don't worry, my boy. That will make you stronger. But just now you said that. But 师父, when things happen, there must be a reason, right? That's what you said. And what I understand from what you said is, must be from some 冤亲债主 or past life.
No. The one is just now I said my sister told me one day. He called me and said, "Oh, my 冤亲债主 can't find me." What happened?
Yeah, but is that your opinion?
No.
But the way you say was your opinion. But 师父,
No, it's not my opinion because he used that word. So I was thinking, is it something like 冤亲债主?
wait, okay, then let me share with you. If it's not your opinion, you must prefix that statement with, but 师父, some people think that. If you don't say some people think that, then it's your opinion. Oh, you're of course lah.
I was saying the example of my sister.
Yeah,
And
so
I also used the word, I think there must be a reason.
you know, you say you think that is your.
Something happened.
So is it your thinking? So is it your thinking?
I agree. I feel this way.
So that means your opinion lah.
Yeah, but it's not say 冤亲债主 lah. I feel that maybe something will happen, whether it's good or bad, there must be a reason.
Yeah, and that reason is due to past life or this life. You don't know ah? Oh, okay. Then don't know. Then no. End of story. Nothing already. You don't know what the reason, but you think must have a reason.
Maybe someday you get to know this person, you learn something, you get to know this person, you get control.
So let me just repeat what you just said. You don't know the actual reason, but yet you think that there must be some reason that has nothing to do with this life. Oh, so to do with this life also. Hey, don't keep changing your story leh.
如果我们行善，一定有好报。
Yeah. Let's not go into too many cases. We are specifically talking about, because you mentioned 冤亲债主, that means it's an idea that whatever happens now is linked to past life. Do you have this notion or not? No, okay, then no, next person. Okay, to have a reasonable dialogue, you all must remember a few points about our conversation. If you want to change your stand, you must indicate that you want to change your stand. It's okay to change your stand. Yeah, you cannot suka change stand. You must clearly say that, I would like to change my stand. First thing. Second thing, when we make a stand, we must be ready to face the, argument. Yeah, and you won't lose anything one. And the whole point of Sifu doing all this is to clarify a certain point. But don't pick up the mic now. Cannot pick already. You say no stand already. Then don't know cannot say anything already. Don't know cannot say already. Then later Sifu ask, I don't think in this way. Then put down. Then after I say something, then you still want to cannot like that. Then 你不可以好好。Okay, so anyway, show of hands, is there anyone here with the mindset that whatever happens to us is solely due to past life? Is there? Sure? You're sure? We turn the camera around. Everybody agree? One person raised the hand, yes. So our sister feels that it is partly due to past life, but not totally due to past life. Yeah?
Well, yeah. I mean, there must be something that we can do in this life to alleviate the impact of the past life karma if it's bad. So there's something we can do in this life to improve.
Exactly. Yeah. So the extreme view that things have nothing to do with past life or things have everything to do with past life these are extreme views. what the Buddha taught was that there are consequences for our actions. Yeah? But when the karma, the seeds are ripening, we still have our involvement to play. Yeah. How it fully pan out still depends on how we react, yeah, and respond to the ripening. When Venerable Angulimala, time's up. When Venerable Angulimala, he come to the end of his life, he was beaten up, and basically you can say that he was assaulted. Yeah. And in his dying breath, he went to see the Buddha, and he asked the Buddha, having attained arahanthood, why is he still experiencing this? And the Buddha told him, the evil that he has done, he has committed in the past, where he killed hundreds, close to 1,000 persons, was said 999 persons. The last person was a choice between his mother and the Buddha. Yeah, he decided to choose to attack the Buddha. He didn't know that it was the Buddha. He just saw that was a monk, an ascetic. So the Buddha said, having killed so many people, he was to experience rebirth in the lower realms, to suffer in hell for a long time. And then the Buddha reminded him, what you are experiencing now is just a fraction of what you were supposed to be experiencing. And this is the crucial thing. So even for the Arahant, when the karmic seed has already ripened, they will experience it. The difference is that they experience without worsening it. They experience it without further aggravation. For us, weather a little bit hot, MRT a bit late, someone must resign. Our response is always very strong. Yeah, when something goes wrong, it's really wrong. If you can improve it, improve it. But if you cannot improve it, we don't stop there. Many times we look around, we see people escalate the problem from small to big to gigantic. Yeah, I have encountered a real life example. There's this devotee. It started off with something very simple. He was I don't know what he's doing now. He's a taxi driver. It started off with a very simple encounter with a passenger. The passenger booked his cab, but when he arrived, she just happened to flag another cab. And then her luggage was in the other cab already. So when he got out of the cab and insisted that she must honor the booking. Fair enough. But when requested to help with the luggage, he refused. And of course refused in a very rude manner. So at first, if he didn't care about the booking, okay lor, you cancel booking, cancel lor. Then you just suffer the loss of the booking fee. Yeah. Not much time lost, really, just a few minutes. Then you just go for the next fare lor. But he decided that no. It happened to be a Western passenger. Yeah, happened to be. To me, has nothing to do with the fact that she's a Westerner, she's an Amor. Nothing to do with that. But he was quite upset. So he was like, why should I help you carry? Okay. So he was very rude. And then the passenger got in, sent over. So the passenger was not happy. So the passenger decided to file a complaint. So now, instead of just having a booking fee problem, perhaps he was maybe a little late also. Yeah, but now it's no longer just that. Now he was given a complaint. Yeah, that he was rude to the customer and so on and so forth. Do you think this is the end of story? No. 雾锁南阳之风雨同舟 just started only. Later got 赤道羔羊什么 I tell you, you cannot imagine, this is better than our Singapore script. He didn't just stop there, because from the booking he found the number, called her up and threatened her, told her, don't try to file a complaint for what, this and that, this and that. Again, a sense of self-righteousness. What happened? So the lady filed a police report. Yeah, because now you are intruding into privacy. Yeah, you are having illegal access to a customer's phone number and using it beyond the business purpose, and you make a threatening call. Now, according to the police report, it was filed saying that he threatened her life. Yeah, exactly what he said, nobody knows. Yeah, but maybe you could say that when you are very aggressive, people feel threatened, so she has the right to file a complaint. So, at this point, you would think that what you should be doing is, okay, just go and write a letter to apologize and then just hope that she close the case. No. 赤道羔羊来了. So he was called in, and when the police inspector was questioning him and asking him, about things, you know what he said? Are you charging me? If you're not charging me, I want to go back. He看到好Michael O. You watch movie, but don't follow, okay? It's just like what we tell small kids. You watch Spider-Man, but don't go and climb. You watch Superman, don't try to fly, okay? That is the movie. Sometimes we watch movie, and then in the show, there's some guy who will go and tell the police, am I currently charged? If not, can I go? That happens in the movie, where they can suddenly know Kung Fu and fight, and in real life, it doesn't happen that way. Because originally, the inspector was just doing investigation, was not necessarily going to charge him. Nothing to charge, it's just give him a warning. So when he do this, okay, sure, I can charge. I mean, really, the moment you are rude, unruly, they can charge you from misdemeanor, obstruction of justice, whatever. There's 101 things. I mean, why do this to yourself? So he was charged. Not because of the original charge, but now because of contempt towards and he was inside for 1 day. The next day he come out. Do you think it's the end? No, I don't know what other episodes are. I mean, now I'm laughing about it, but I actually feel very sad for him. Because after that, he still write an email, He write an email to go and criticize the inspector and scold. It's been a while since I touched base with him. I should go and find out what happened. Last I talked to him, because he don't see me regularly. So the first time he saw me, it was when the lady filed a police report. Then the second time I met him, he go and chong with the police officer. So I'm like, hey, what did I tell you the last time? Like, before you do anything, can you just consult me first? Like, please don't do this to yourself. So when a person in this situation, he could think, wow, 冤亲债主, this Amor is my 冤亲债主. Wow, now I also encounter this inspector, my 冤亲债主. But most people in this situation don't look in the mirror and ask, hey, am I doing something that, 鸡蛋碰石头, you're creating trouble for yourself. So that's why, time and again, whenever you talk about karma, I always want to come back to this. Your present life action can really totally supersede your past life karma. Don't do this. I mean, I told him, I said, how old are you? Hey, I behaved that way when I was in the army, you know, not at your age. What? 那口气 that air cannot swallow it down. 哎呀，阿弥陀佛。So anyway, to summarize today's teaching, there are other things that we touch on karma and so on. But for today's sharing, it is about how, from the perspective of karma, what we promise others and what we deliver can determine and shape the future life. Our endeavors, our pursuits. How, for some people, somehow whatever they try, they are successful. And then sometimes even more successful than they intended. They thought of just opening one shop, or in the end open up many shops. But there are some people who try and try and try, but just keep failing. So this is the teaching here about how the context here is the promises given to those who are cultivators. But according to if you look at it generally, then it is not just about what you promise to cultivators. I think whatever you promise others, we should try to deliver it. Don't just make empty promises. We will. Yes. Oh yeah. Because halfway through, then she said, no, I don't have that opinion. So anyway, you all can try. Okay. So the hypothesis is this: if the things we experience is totally due to past karma, that it cannot be shaped by this present life, then if you have a very good friend, or you have close relation with your colleague or your parents or whoever, then it cannot be improved or degenerated by your actions because it's shaped by past karma. Then this is the exercise. Tonight, if it's your family, tonight when you go back, look for that person, give the person a tight slap. This is present life karma. And when the person, why you hit me? Just smile. Next day, try again. If it's your colleague, tomorrow, Monday, go to the office, look for a colleague, and then if it's your good friend, chill your good friend to have tea or lunch, and then after getting all the food, sit down. Do it after you get all the food, okay? Sit down, order, then, hey, how's things going? Your friend asks you, try. How? What do you think? Do you think it is, which is more powerful, past life karma or this life karma? YOLO. See, most of the time we tend to neglect the efficacy, the importance, the effectiveness of our present life karma. Oftentimes we fail to succeed in improving relations. And then we feel like, bo pian na, past life. Well, is it true? Sometimes when the past life is so strong, hard to change, it is true. But you must know, hard to build up, easy to tear down. You want to build up good relation, it take a long time. You want to spoil a relation, gone. Okay, any questions? If not, we'll end here. Then next week, I will share with you all on the 7-month festival. Yes. Put our palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛，起立。